Good afternoon. I'm Ralph Hicks. I'm an air safety investigator out of the Atlanta, Georgia region with the NTSB, and I'm going to give you a briefing today, an update on the accident investigation involving the aircraft here in Morris Township. Today, we spent most of the day at the accident site overseeing the recovery of the wreckage. We have a salvage team that's on site today, arrived actually yesterday afternoon. Made a lot of progress today. We're identifying parts of the aircraft, loading them up, and we'll be transporting them to a facility in Delaware where we'll do an extensive layout examination of the wreckage. And basically what we'll do is we'll put the aircraft back together in a sense where we'll lay out all the pieces where respectively to where they should be, do a complete accounting of all the parts, and that just a continuation of our fact-finding part of this investigation. The wreckage layout in Delaware will be at a time to be announced. We're putting together our team right now for that. Regarding the air traffic control side of the investigation, our air traffic control specialist in Washington has been working on this for the past 2 days. Basically what we can release right now is that the aircraft climbed to about 18,000 feet. The pilot did confirm with air traffic control that he was picking up some ice. He was in icing conditions. How much ice was on the airplane, we do not know, and we may never know. The aircraft was in radar contact at the time and continued in radar contact throughout the accident sequence. We did have at least one air carrier crew of a commercial air carrier that reported icing conditions in the general time and location as the accident occurred. We have located the aircraft records, and we are retrieving them today. They were not on board the airplane. They were actually at a maintenance facility in Groton, Connecticut, and we'll be reviewing those tomorrow at the FAA facilities in Saddlebrook, and that'll be tomorrow morning. I mentioned earlier in a previous briefing this morning that we're still looking for possible recorded information from the airplane. We don't have a black box per se on this aircraft. However, there is a possibility that there was some non-volatile memory in chips, and we'll be looking through the components as we examine the wreckage to see if there's anything that might be there. But right now, we don't have anything to pass along. The parties that we're working with, of course, the FAA is always a party to our investigations. We also notified the TSB in Canada because the engine is a Canadian engine, Pratt & Whitney Canada engine, and the aircraft is a Cicada make and model, and it's manufactured in France. And we're working with the BEA of France, which is our counterpart over there, to make sure that we get the appropriate personnel to assist us here. Pertaining to the pilot's qualifications, he had a private pilot certificate, airplane, single engine, land rating. He was instrument rated. We'll be going through his pilot records on the FAA side tomorrow morning as well at the FAA facilities. We've had numerous witnesses that have responded. We've taken a lot of information down from those witnesses, and we'll be calling many of those witnesses back to get more detail on what they saw, what they heard at the time of the accident. We'll be publishing a preliminary report in about a week's time, probably the first of next week. You'll see it on our NTSB website. And you just look it up by the date of the accident, and it'll be in there. It'll be factual information only. We don't release any conclusions. No cause or analysis will be released. It's just a basic factual report. Okay. I'd like to take this time to thank the New Jersey DOT and the Division of Aeronautics, New Jersey State Police, Morris Township Police and Mayor's Office, and Morris County Emergency Services for outstanding support on the accident site under difficult circumstances. Be able to take your questions now.
Is there any consistency coming through in the accounts you are getting so far from witnesses? Is anything standing out in terms of consistency of their accounts?
One thing that has been consistent with the witnesses is that many of them, or most of them, describe the descent of the airplane as a descending spiral, and that's been pretty consistent throughout.
And is that not expected, or is that unusual for that type of craft in the conditions?
Well, it's not something that you would see in normal flight, so it's obviously something that we're looking at.
Were there ice boots on the wings?
The aircraft was equipped with a de-ice system. It's one of the options and this is actually a pneumatic system. It operates by engine air to inflate the boots and retract them to actually takes the ice off the airplane. We're going to be getting into the details of that system with the manufacturer's representatives. Are going to assist us with this. Some of that did survive, so we're going to be going through the wreckage in detail to see what kind of condition it's in.
I have a question to follow up. This plane you said has a de-icing system, unlike commercial jetliners that have anti-icing systems. Do you think that smaller planes like this should have systems that detect ice in the tail?
Well, this has a de-icing system in the tail as well.
But it actually doesn't alert the pilot until that ice is actually...
Well, we can't say that right now because I haven't had a chance to get into the details of this particular airplane. There is a possibility there could be an ice detection system, so I can't rule that out right now.
Is it clear that the pilot tried to land the plane in any specific way? Did he try to steer it into a certain area, try to land on the highway?
I don't know that at this time.
Do you know how many hours the pilot had?
No, I do not.
I think yesterday you had said, the investigator had said that you had lost radar contact after that talk with the air traffic control. Here today you say that they were within radar during the accident sequence.
During the initial portion of the accident sequence, radar contact was eventually lost. However, there was a certain point in there that we'll be able to actually marry up the voice communications with the radar data. We haven't done that yet, but we're in the process of looking at it.
Did this pilot get a weather briefing report?
We're looking into that. We've got our meteorologists in Washington tracking that down at this time.
Looking at the direction that the plane was in on the way down, sir, is there an hypothecation that it was turning from where it was to try to land at Morristown Airport?
We don't know that at this time.
Well, just for clarification purposes, that you said that you identified some of these pieces. Did you find new pieces today?
We didn't find any new pieces today. We identified all the pieces that we found today, yesterday. So those are being, those were loaded up today, most of the afternoon. And they'll be transported to a facility where they'll be in storage for us until we're
Can you describe the distance that it fell and how quickly it fell to the ground?
I don't have that information available right now.
I see it in newspapers. I wanted to verify it.
Yeah, I can't verify it right now. It's going to take a while for us to actually go through. There's a lot of information to go through. And of course, this is the initial fact-finding phase. We're only in the second day, and so it's going to take us many months to go through all the data that we have. And so we want to make sure that we do that very carefully.
Now having found new pieces today, what percentage of the plane do you think you have, or what are you still missing?
The aircraft is very fragmented, and so I can't guess to a percentage of the aircraft. We haven't even verified that we have all the airplane. So that's one of the things that we'll do when we do a proper layout when we get back together.
You mentioned that the pilot said that there was ice on the wings. Is that a reference to the same information about a general conversation about ice, or did he actually confirm to air traffic control that there was ice?
Like I said, he confirmed that he was picking up ice. He was in icing conditions.
Can you be more specific about?
No,
what
I really
said?
can't. I really can't give you more information. He didn't relay how much ice was on his airplane. He just said that he was in conditions of
Do you know what
icing.
altitude he was at that time?
It was around 17,000 feet.
Mr. Hicks, because of the wave and from what all you know at this point, are there any things that you could rule out at this point as to a possible cause?
No, we can't rule out anything right now. We're still, like I said, it's still the very early fact-finding phase. We're looking at the man, the machine, and the environment, and all those in great detail. So we've got a lot of work to do. Excuse me? No, I cannot.
How far away from the crash site was the tail found?
Approximately, there are pieces that we believe are the tail, approximately a quarter mile from the crash site.
What would you say is the largest piece of the plane that you found that you've been able to identify?
The largest piece that I've seen today was probably the main cabin area, and there's a section of wing that was there near the interstate that was probably around 10 feet in length.
Would anyone on board have known they were about to crash, or?
I can't answer that. I'm sorry. I don't know.
How did the rain affect your debris recovery today? Did it at all?
Not really. No, we're used to working in conditions like this, so we didn't have a problem
Will
with
you
it.
be finished by the end of the day?
At the actual accident site, yes, we will be.
Were there
And if we need to go back out there and look for something or look at the scene again, obviously we'll do that.
Gotcha. Were there any lanes of traffic that were closed today for any period?
There were specific lanes depending on what we were doing at the time. There was the median there where we had wreckage in the middle of the median, and then there was some off to the other side. So we started on the side where for the smaller pieces where the propeller was in that general area, and then we progressed across to the median, and we finished up in the median.
Are you finished now?
Yes.
all
there a
needs to check
number
if they're
that people
open.
can call from Morris Township if they have found any of the debris from the wreckage, sir?
I would contact the, the local police.
Sir, from your calculations, have you been able to determine how long that plane could have been in freezing conditions?
No, we have
Looking at the
not.
clouds?
Not yet.
And could you tell from the recovery of any of the wing parts whether the de-icing element was activated or not?
No, we can't tell until we look at it
And did
a
any
lot
of the
closer.
communication indicate whether he had activated that system?
I'm not aware of any.
Two
You
more
don't think
questions.
it's an
Two more.
autopilot, sir?
Before, forgive me for asking this before, but is the airworthiness directive that was issued for this model aircraft in 2000, I believe it's 2000, even though this aircraft is a 2005 model, is that airworthiness directive relevant to your investigation?
It's something, obviously, that we're going to look at. I have to confirm that the airworthiness directive is applicable to this particular airplane. I was made aware of that airworthiness directive, so we'll be looking at that in the next few days to make sure that it was applicable to this one.
But it might not be.
Don't know that right now. Okay.
How long was the plane in the air for? Have you determined that?
We think it was about 14 to 15 minutes.
So it was pretty soon after that last conversation with air traffic control?
I don't understand your question
The
now.
plane went down.
We don't have a time frame. I'm talking about the entire flight. It was about 14 minutes.
But that call came in 14 minutes into air traffic control, is what we were told yesterday.
I'm not sure. I don't know that.
Sir, do you think smaller planes like this should have systems in place where the pilot can see ice forming in areas where actually he would not be able to see, like in the tail?
I really can't answer that question. All I can give you is information on this particular accident, the facts that we've found at the site. So that would get into analysis, which I can't go
How many
there.
reports of icing there were? We heard there were a number of planes that were reporting in the back and forth. There was an indication.
We don't have the exact number. We just know that there were some reports. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry.
Ralph Hicks.